Welcome to this session of Enhancing Your Customer's Shopping Experience with Oracle iStore. I'm Bob Carini, Director of the Product Management for iStore. And what we're going to do today is cover a number of topics with iStore. First off, we're going to talk about some of the new features, including iStore Information Discovery. I'm also going to share with you the product roadmap for Oracle iStore, and also share with you a mobile reference application that we have currently in our prototype lab. So let's move along. And first off, let's cover what we released last year in August of 2014, which was release 12.2.4 of iStore. And we released three major areas within the application. The first one was multi-customer access. The second one were some usability enhancements. And then finally, we made some changes to our direct item entry and made some improvements there. Let's briefly cover those real quickly. So multi-customer access was something our customers had asked for. And what they wanted to be able to do is have one single logon to iStore, yet be able to place orders and view order history on behalf of other customers. So what we did was we changed the model and the structuring. And now what you can do with iStore in 12.2.4 with multi-customer access is be able to define one user for multiple parties and multiple accounts within those parties. And again, this allows users to define only one login, yet have their users place items in their shopping cart and go through the checkout process for a number of customers that they define. Secondly, along the lines of usability enhancements, we made a number of UI changes. For instance, we changed our direct item entry facility. We had a customer ask for cross-reference part numbers in conjunction with customer numbers. We also made some changes to our product comparison native application facility within iStore. And then finally, we added a carousel view. And with product comparison and the carousel view, we took advantage of Fusion components. And this is the first time we've ever done this before, such that we could take Fusion widgets and actually embed them within iStore. So if we take a look at direct item entry, what we did was we enhanced the entry screen. And if customers know their particular part number, they can add it in without having to browse the iStore catalog and put items into their shopping cart through the browse and the search. They can go directly into this form that you see here and add cross-reference information along with their customer part number. And as I said, this was something that our customers had asked for. Their customers, their external customers, sometimes don't remember the internal inventory number and are familiar with their own part number. So this gives the iStore end user the ability to enter that in the direct item entry form and then add those items to the shopping cart. Let's move along to what we just released in 12.2.5, which was released in October this year. And again, a number of new enhancements. One was the line item promotion codes. Secondly, enhancements to the address search capability for bill to, ship to, and end customer. And finally, probably our most major enhancement was information discovery for iStore. So let's cover those briefly. Line item promotions allows customers to now go into their shopping cart and specify a new drop-down item called line promotions. And what this allows customers to do is if they're taking advantage of promotion codes and discount codes by setting a profile option on within iStore, what they'll be able to do is navigate to a brand new screen that allows them to place the promotion codes and discount codes against any of the items that are currently available in the shopping cart. Before this enhancement, you were only able to add items at a header level in the shopping cart. And now what we've done is we've dropped that down a level. And what this does, and the value here, is it gives our customers much more granularity in how they want to extend their discounts and promotions for items that are at the shopping cart item level. One of the other features that we introduced in iStore 12.2.5 are enhancements to our address search capability during the checkout process. And what we did was we enhanced the bill to, ship to, and end customer screens to allow our customers to add additional filtering and searching criteria to find the right addresses during the checkout process. And the reason why we did this is we received a number of requests from our customers who have hundreds of addresses. And to have to scroll through page after page after page to find the right address was very, very cumbersome and time consuming. And they came back and they said it would be best if we could filter on additional fields, such as site or site name, or address line 1 or 2, 3, or 4, or postal code, zip code, so on and so forth, such that we could get to the right address very quickly and easily, select that, and then continue on the checkout process. So we did that, as I mentioned, for our ship to, our bill to, and our end customer screens while going through and putting items into the shopping cart and checking out. And last but not least, for iStore 12.2.5 is the information discovery. And this is a new feature within iStore that replaces the old search capability with a brand new guided selling, guided navigation search capability. And what this does is allows customers across the entire iStore application to have a global search area where they can type in products that they want to purchase or look at, and immediately the information discovery application facility will show them type ahead suggestions. So it'll auto-suggest the type of things they may want to look for. What it does is it streamlines the buying process, allowing customers to hone in and find the right products that they want based on searching and filtering. And the filtering is much more important here, because when I go into iStore, and this is currently the old interface, I had the ability to do a very vanilla search. It only returned back a list of products. And we introduced a profile option within iStore for information discovery that changes this to now a global search that is available across the entire application. So no matter where I am within the iStore app, whether I'm in the shopping cart or browsing, or I'm looking at my profile, or I'm in the order tracker and history area, I can type in a product, and what will come back are the number of hits or finds on that particular product. For example, let me go in here, and in the search box at the top that you see highlighted, let me type in the word laptop. And what information discovery is going to do is it's going to come back and it's going to give me a drop-down. And this drop-down is based on every area where the word laptop is found, whether this be in the product name, in the product short description, in the product long description. The information discovery search is very advanced, such that I can say, okay, give me my laptops, and once I find laptops, take me to a results page. And this results page does a couple of things. The first thing you see here is the box at the top called Selected Refinements. And this is what I've typed in for my search. And I can change this and change my refinements to be whatever I'm looking for. And in this case, we were looking for laptops. What I can also do is, once I've made my initial search, I have something called additional or available refinements. And these are additional attributes based on laptops that I can go in and I can filter on and narrow down the products that I'm looking for based on the criteria that's highlighted here. So for instance, customers can go in, and if they have their part numbers defined within iStore, they can click the drop-down menu and they can choose the predefined customer part numbers that are available, or they can type in a part number and have information discovery do a search. The same is true for cross-reference part numbers. Again, what we've tried to do is, out of the box, deliver a refined solution that customers can add to. So out of the box, they can enable this, disable it, and add their own attributes by pulling that information in based on part number from either other Oracle sources or maybe third-party applications. We also have the ability to search on cross-reference type. So this is a very easy way to refine the search criteria that you have. And also, if you're interested in, say, let's look at pricing information, we can refine on price. So let's say I'm interested in a particular price range. I'll click on price range, and what I'd like to see are things within a certain range or a certain set of buckets. Again, this is user definable. What I can also do is look at retail price. So let's say I'm interested in a price between $100 and $500 for my laptops. What happens here is based on the refinements that I choose on the left-hand side of the screen, the right-hand side shows the results in a number of views. And the default view is the list view, where I can scroll up and down on a list of products that I've found and the refinements that have been applied to those products. I also have a table view where I can look at information in more of a spreadsheet fashion, and I can drag and drop, I can freeze columns, and I can also click the columns and do product comparison. For instance, I'm going to highlight rows 1 and row 2, and let's pick row 3 here. And I'm going to go over to my action drop-down menu over on the right-hand side, and you'll notice I can print, I can export, and I can compare what I've selected. So what we'll do is we'll click on Compare. And what happens here is a comparison window pops up showing me the 3 products that I've selected and also their attributes. And again, I can hide, show, view, drag, drop, and look at all the attributes that I have defined as a customer that I want to display to my end users. So let's also look at these products and see how we can go in and see what the differences are. There are a number of things, like I said, that you can do with this compare window, and one of those is highlight differences. So what I'm going to do is click on highlight differences, and wherever there are differences among the products that I'm looking at, they will highlight in yellow. So this easily will call out items that are different in price or different attributes or different names. If there are any differences, the product comparison will show. So let's close this window. And along with the table view, we have something called a grid view. And the grid view allows you to look at your product results in a matrix fashion. And the nice thing about this is it's user definable. So if I wanted to go in and change how many items I'm looking column per column, I can go to the bottom of the grid view, and there's a drop-down menu, and this again is customizable, and you can choose 1 column, 2 column, 3 columns, how many columns you'd like. And again, this saves on the real estate and allows me to look at the products in a more easier fashion than in the table or the list view. Along with grid, we decided to implement a custom component called the carousel view. And you'll see there's an icon at the top of the screen here called carousel view, and it's a toggle button. So when you click on carousel, what you get are the products that have been coming back from the results in a rotating fashion. So what I can do is I can scroll horizontally left, right, and rotate the products around and choose the product that's in the forefront. So for instance, we have the Envoy Deluxe in the forefront. What I'm going to do is click on the Add to Cart button, and it will place this item directly into my shopping cart. So as you can see, it's a very easy, intuitive way of looking for products, filtering on their attributes, and placing them into the shopping cart in a very seamless way. Now, I also mentioned that global search is available no matter where you are within iStore. And again, here it is in the shopping cart page. So I'm going to buy a laptop in this particular scenario, and maybe I want to also buy a laser printer to go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the word laser into my global search box, and again, information discovery comes back with all of the found items that could potentially be a candidate for a laser printer. And one of the things you can also note here is that if a laser printer lives in a product hierarchy of the catalog, it will be shown. So no matter where the product lives, if it's at a high level or a low level or a mid level, you'll be able to see that particular product. So let's say I'm interested in looking at a discontinued laser printer. I probably would get a better deal on items that were discontinued versus ones that are new. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come down and I'm going to click on the laser printers that have been discontinued. And again, information discovery will go search for those printers, show me my refinements, and here's a list of all of the printers that have been discontinued. And I can search by product name, I can search by pricing, so on and so forth. But you know, let's say I'm not quite certain which one I really want, and I'm buying this for somebody else. Well, what I'd like to do is take this particular list of products that I've found and email it to the person who eventually will be using the product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my view items here, and what I'll do is say, okay, from the table, I want you to go and I want you to do an export. So like we did the product comparison, what I can do is I can say do an export or do a print. In this particular case, I'm going to export out the list that you see here. So I'll come down to export. I'll choose the action, export, and I'm prompted with some information about how would you like to save this? Would you like to save it as a CSV file? What format would you like? So on and so forth. So I could then take this list of printers that have been decommissioned and email it to the person who eventually will be using the printer saying, which one of these do you want? Which one should I buy? Which one fits your business needs? So again, this is another example of what information discovery can do for you that wasn't available prior in the old iStore search capability. And to summarize, here are the new capabilities that information discovery gives you. Its optimized search capability and type ahead with auto-suggestion allows you to pick and choose what you want easily versus having to go and do many different searches. We also have filtering, as I mentioned, on a number of predefined attributes, and customers can add their own. We support a number of display options for those results. I mentioned the table view, the grid view, and the carousel view. And finally, we have the comparison and the export. So if you look at this entire facility, and again, this is controlled by a profile option, there is no coding needed in order to invoke this. And what this does is this gives our customers, our merchants, the ability to extend the product to their end users, allowing them a much easier user interface to really assist with the customer satisfaction and experience with using iStore search. And information discovery was showcased at OpenWorld, and it was a huge success. We had customers saying, we'd like that now. So it was very well received by our customers at OpenWorld. We demoed it throughout the demo grounds, and we also wanted to include it here as part of our 12.2.5 offering. So where are we going with iStore? Again, we shared our product roadmap at Oracle OpenWorld, and there's a few items here that we have on the drawing board. Let's cover these real quickly. The first one is QA check. And what this does is it allows end customers to embed their own logic in the shopping cart or during the checkout process when placing an order. And what this does is this allows customers to include a package body with their own logic and to be able to raise error messages and stop any of the process flows. So let's say you have a field that you want to make mandatory, and currently out of the box it's not mandatory with an iStore. You can add your own package body to say, if this field is left blank or null, I want you to raise an error, I want you to show this particular error message, and I want you to stop the process and not let the customer go to the next phase of the checkout process. And again, when we showed this to users, they said, yes, we can use this. And what this does is it stops us and precludes us from having to make customizations that are specific to our business needs. So again, this is on the drawing board. for our next upcoming release of iStore, and it was very well received by our customers. Another thing that customers wanted to do is after they place an order, they wanted to go back to that order and say, let's reorder the items that we have, whether it be one, several, or all of those orders. And we've heard this from a number of our iStore customers. And so what we're doing is we're planning to change our order tracker system such that when you look at an order that has been placed, you can go back to that order, specify the line items within the order, and click an Add to Cart button. And those items will copy from the order back into the shopping cart. So again, this is a time savings for our customers to be able to reorder items without having to browse the catalog or go into direct item entry. They can do it directly from an existing order. Another thing that we wanted to introduce was something that our Oracle order management system supports called item orderability rules. And what this allows you to do is based on customer and customer attributes, you can hide or show products that are relevant to the customer who logs into iStore. So for instance, customer A might be able to order 5 products, and customer B may be ordered to order a second set of products, but they're mutually exclusive. By leveraging the item orderability rules that are defined in order management, we are able to do that with an iStore based on the rules that have been set up. Again, we had a number of customers that have actually done this with a customization in iStore, and we decided, this would be a great feature to have out of the box and alleviate the need for our customers to make any changes within the iStore itself and be able to do it programmatically through order management and an integration with iStore. Another thing we'd like to introduce are web services. And the reason why we want to put in web services is twofold. First off, we've heard from our customers that it would be great to have a series of libraries underneath the scene that would allow them to plug and play their own front end to iStore. So maybe they don't want to use the JSPs or customize the JSPs that come straight out of the box. Maybe they would like to use a different type of programming tool, such as Ajax, for instance, to put in their own user interface, yet call the libraries underneath the scene that handle all of the transactions within iStore, from browsing the catalog to putting items in the shopping cart to doing advanced pricing checks to doing ATP checks, and then through the checkout process, and then to be able to place the order and then look at that order later on. So having these library services would definitely help customers who want to plug and play their own UI. But more importantly, this will enable us as Oracle to extend the web services to a mobile application. So what we have planned, and what we actually showed a prototype of, was a mobile reference application written for the iPhone and the Android. And this is based on HTML5 standards. And what this allows users to do is take a reference application, or I should say our customers, take the reference application and then brand it to their own needs and then push that out to like the Apple Store. So customers can take what we give them out of the box, use it vanilla, or change it to suit their own needs, and then be able to give that to their customers such that from a mobile device, I can place an order with an iStore. So what that gives me is the ability to browse the catalog, to search the catalog, and choose the items that I want in the catalog, as you see here on the left, and then move on to the checkout process, where I put items into my shopping cart, and I go through the checkout process. And after doing so, the third screen over on the right shows the item being placed, or I should say the order being placed, and confirmation that that order has been placed. And then afterwards, I can go in and look at all of my orders and look at their status and drill into the orders to find out where they are. Have they been booked? Have they been shipped? Are they still in entered status? And also look at the details. So I can look at customer information, billing, shipping information, and the items that were purchased, as well as reorder those particular items. So when we showed this at Oracle OpenWorld, customers were very eager to have something like this based on the web services that I just covered as a reference application that they can take, brand, and then push out to their end users. So in summary, and to wrap up, what I'd like to convey here is that iStore has continued momentum. I showed you where we were with 12.2.4. I showed you what we have just delivered in 12.2.5. And I've shared our product roadmap with you of where we want to take iStore and the various things that we have and features and enhancements that we have that are currently in development or on the drawing board. And what this does is it highlights our continued investment within the product. iStore has a huge install base. And more importantly, we have a customer-driven roadmap. We listen to our customers, they give us the input, and what we do is then prioritize it using ideations and work with our customers to refine those particular enhancements in order to get those enhancements out the door from release to release. So what I'd like to do is thank you for joining this particular session. And you can always reach out to me, Bob Carini at oracle.com. I'm available for any questions and would be happy to answer any particular things that you have in mind. Thank you.